Tough half from the Bulls. They were able to close the gap though, going into the second half. Going to the into the second half, only down by 7 points. So the Bulls definitely need to tighten some things up. This has just been a crazy game. Like a lot of the 50-50 balls haven't gone the Bulls' way. Some of the calls as well haven't gone the Bulls' way, which is something that we're seeing consistently. Is the Bulls are just officiated pretty well. I mean, well, pretty horribly. John Morant's 50% from the field with 16 points going into that half. Steven Adams had a big half with 15 rebounds, 11 points. We need to see that tighten up some. Vooch had a pretty aggressive stretch there. He was 4 for 9 in the half, 6 rebounds, 8 points. Zach LaVine with 12 points as well. Javonte Green with 12 points. DeMar DeRozan 2 for 10 with only 7 points. So if we can see DeMar kind of tighten up, we can definitely see how we get back into this game. Kobe 3 for 8 as well. The Bulls have overall shot the ball 41%. Only 8 assists so far with 5 turnovers. You like to see that get fixed. Definitely on the Bulls side. The Memphis Grizzlies with 14 points. This is another one of those just weird games. Like this is it's. I wish I could word it better. It's just a really weird game. I honestly expected the Bulls to be down by more. They were down by double digits for a large part of that second quarter. We're able to close the gap, going to the half down by 7. But let's go ahead and get into your comments and your responses to it. Let's see how you guys feel. Dylan says Zach got to play better defense too. Yes, he does. He does for sure. I wanted to see more Tristan in that first half, to be honest. Yeah, I was surprised they didn't go to Tristan earlier than what they did. He played 7 minutes. Kobe White with 15 minutes on the off the bench. He leads with minutes off the bench. But Tristan Thompson and Troy Brown Jr. playing the same amount of minutes doesn't sit well with me, especially knowing the type of impact Tristan had last game. I expect to see more minutes from him in the second half for sure. They definitely need him. Maybe with Jared Jackson Jr. Getting in foul trouble early. Maybe they felt they didn't need to go to him, conserve his energy for the second half. Maybe that's what it was. We'll see. Stop. We'll see. But if Jared Jackson Jr. stays out of foul trouble, this as well can get a little bit uglier for the Bulls. He's the leading shot blocker in the NBA, 0 blocks so far in this game, 1 for 4 as well. He just couldn't stay out of foul trouble, so we'll continue to monitor that as well. Chris says, without Javonte being a pest on defense, this game would be far worse. Yes. Yes, especially if also Jaren Jackson Jr. wasn't in foul trouble. Uh, damn, we really need to figure out the pick and roll defense by the playoffs. Yikes, need to come out strong. And this is what I've been saying. You get Bulls fans in the comments anytime you point something out about the Bulls, and they'll be like, well, we've been first in the league for so long. Yes, but with that being said, the way that the Bulls are playing, when you play against other playoff competition, certain things about this Bulls team gets exposed. Now, again, we know we're missing Alex Caruso and Lonzo Ball and Patrick Williams and what they bring to defense. We understand that. I talk very heavily about how Lonzo makes everybody a better defender around him with his communication. I understand that. But with that being said, it's not even necessarily like the lockdown defense. It's the attention on defense. This team is like that possession with Steven Adams where it was a loose ball and he literally lost it twice or 3 times and still ended up with the ball. It's just and DeRozan got called on the foul, which he shouldn't have on that. But it's just little things like that need to be tightened up. There's no reason he should have walked away with that ball. None. Considering Zach and DeMar, it could be a lot worse. Yes, this game could be. Yes, I do acknowledge that this game I like is a little bit too bright right now. Let's turn that down. But yes, this game could be a lot worse. A lot worse. But just because it could be a lot worse, that doesn't mean you get to excuse the bad things that are still happening in this game. MC Season says, I agree. It's giving me weird vibe and seems slow at time. I know what you mean. Yeah. And you really expect, like I said, you have the 4th and the 5th ranked offenses in the league. You expected, at least coming into this game, I did, it to be a little bit higher scoring than what it is. And it really just has not been that. But at the end of the day, both teams are playing kind of off what they usually play. So I understand people saying, the game could be a lot worse or could be better if the Bulls did certain things. At the end of the day, neither one of these teams are really playing fully to what you would expect from them. Sweaty bloke. No, I did you see how he bodied Steven Adams? Now Steven Adams was trying to. We got to stop like using this thing that it's just Vooch is soft. Vooch is not soft at all. That's the thing. I don't agree with that. Vooch is not a soft player. He has bad defensive IQ at times, absolutely. But Vooch soft. Vooch is not a soft player. Not a soft player. Desmond Bain looks like a little rat. Oh, y'all starting to joke now. Oh, I get it. We always clown on some player. By the way, first time streaming into Chicago Bulls party chat on Facebook. Shout out to everybody in the group there. Hopefully, you guys join the conversation as well. No player movement. Again, yes, we're seeing players stand around and kind of watch. And we're starting. The thing that I'm noticing with this, and I'll start watching this closer especially over the next 5 games or so. It's starting to be, I think what happens is that when we play against teams with great penetration defense, the the other players kind of watch and try, and I don't know if they're waiting, try to say for like seams to open up or something, or hoping that something happens when DeMar's cooking or something like that. But we're seeing players stand around, and that is what it is, man. It's bad to see, bad to see. 8 assists is crazy low. Absolutely no ball movement for sure. Bulls defense is gonna be fine once everybody comes back. But like we can't keep waiting. And the funny thing is even with this, right? Well, minus Tristan Thompson, the Bulls have been very active on defense, and that's what defense mainly is activity. It's rotation. It's getting your hands up. When we see the Bulls play flat defensively, because they don't have the one-on-one skill defenders anymore that they had at the beginning of the season, it really blows things all. Like Javonte Green's energy can only do so much. Only do so much. Haize, do you think we should go big with? No, I listen. I'm very, very strong on that. I don't think the Vooch Tristan Thompson out there together lineup gives us much of what we need. I think that while it on paper it brings size, right? But I think what you lose a lot on the offensive end because Tristan Thompson is not a floor spacer at all, not even in the mid range. So that's why I don't think we see that. But we'll see. We'll see. I want to see Io get some drives and shots. Well, Io has a hell of a offensive, defensive assignment today. And what we've seen typically with Io is when he has really big defensive assignments and players that are big time scorers at the point guard position, we don't get a very big game from Io scoring wise. Now, I do think in the second half, Io will probably still get his 9 and 10 points, right? He'll get that, I think, for sure. But it's not going to be a game where we see Io being really aggressive on offense. I don't think, because that's just not what we've seen for him as a rookie when he faces, big time offensive competition on the other side of the ball. Blah. Some of the Grizzlies points are not bad, D. It's just better offense. There wasn't anything you could do about some of what. Yes, for sure. That yeah, I agree with that. Ja is a magician, and especially when he hits certain floaters, you can't guard against that. I agree with that. But what we can do and what we can control is our activity. For example, on the boards, the Grizzlies have 32 boards so far in this game. The Bulls only 20. Right? Those are type of things that we can control. 20 of the Grizzlies rebounds are defensive rebounds, meaning that we are not getting, and we know that we're not the best offensive rebounding team. We know that. We only have 4 offensive rebounds in this game so far. But on the flip side of that, the Memphis Grizzlies have 12 offensive rebounds. When you do that type of thing, you have that type of disparity, especially when you add in the assist numbers and the turnover to assist ratio that the Bulls have. It's going to be difficult to win any type of game with those type of numbers. It's just going to be hard to win it, and they need to figure that out. They need to figure that out. JJ Ortiz says, bro, these neighbors are pissing me off, bro. Like they were playing way too soft. These neighbors, I get what you're saying. And for once, I'm going to say Zach needs to pass the ball and play off the ball. Agreed. Hate this dude. We need a point guards back bottom line. Zone AC are the glue of this team on offense. And no, I wouldn't agree with it. The glue of this, because we don't run the ball through Zoe enough to say he's the glue on offense. We just don't do that. He doesn't play a traditional point guard. I would never say he's the glue of the offense. What I will say and absolutely go to is I've given Zoe tons of credibility for this, is the way that he communicates, the way that he can identify what the other team is doing on offense and talk to his players, talk to the players around him, makes everybody a better defender around him. And AC is the same thing. And when you add in Zoe's versatility on defense, all those things really make the team. But I would not say he's the glue on offense by any means. And AC, we have some of our best offensive stretches have come when we not have now. We haven't had him for the most part of the season when you really look at it. But no, I'm not ready to say they're the glue of the offense. That's a tall order to say that they're the glue of the offense. Memphis is literally DeMar DeRozan's lowest point per game in his career. Isn't that bad? That's crazy. I did not know that stat. Players needs to keep attacking the boards, move the ball, give screens, and get the rebounds. For sure. Agreed. Agreed. Game starting. Is it? Oh, game starting already? That seemed like a quick half. It's a quick half. Todd Moore says we're only down by 7. It's not just about being down. See, and this is what irritates me about like people not being able to hear evaluation of the game and lobby those. We're only down by 7, yes, but we could have easily been down by 20. It's not just about the number that we're down, it's about the style of play that's out there. And the way that the Bulls are playing, when you look and break down everything in the game, the way the Bulls are playing right now is not good. It's just not good. Yes, I am a super big Ja Morant fan. I love Ja Morant. Love Ja Morant. But I don't want to see him beat my team. Vooch needs to just stay on Adams. He does need to stick to him for sure. Adams is one of the strongest players in the league, so it's going to be hard to keep him off the boards. But we'll see. I will be back for the post game live show. Let's hope we get a better second half from our team at all, and we'll see. We'll see. I still trust the Bulls' ability to come back, especially if we get going on offense and shoot the ball a little bit more effectively than what we have in that first half. But that all remains to be seen, and we'll talk about it in the post game live stream. Love you guys. Go Bulls. See red.